Hello. I'm not sure what happened. And I hope this is going to work for the people who wanted to come. I see there is one person in, so one person found the new link. I'm so sorry for this kind of hiccup. It's it's a new adventure and new adventures are always filled with challenges to figure things out, and it's not good to figure it out while I'm trying to go live, but sometimes it's just not possible to do it any other way. I tried a few lives in the last few days. It always worked well. Well, this time it didn't. But I didn't lose my cool. Yay! I was actually just laughing, kind of giggling along because I was giggling in the first place about that I'm doing this. How I ended up being here doing this. I thought, wow, that's interesting, Sabine. Now, could you please, whoever is in the in the audience, could you just give me a thumb up if you hear the sound? That would be so good. Uh, Otherwise, I'm going to talk here to myself. Just checking if there is anything going on. Um, well, it's a little challenge. Okay. Oh no. Oh my god. I just got a few emails of people wanting to connect and not able to. Ah, hello, Jennifer. Thank you. I hope you have just another minute of patience with me. Oh my God, it's already 13 minutes that you have patience with me. So thank you so much. Well, I think these people just have to, unfortunately, watch it as a recording. So I'm just going to get started. Well, it's a big theme today. And actually, I'm having to check in with myself right now. Because have I been quite honest when I said before that I I didn't lose my state? Let me quickly check if that's true. Actually, I did keep a very good state. I think I am honest around that. It's not comfortable, not at all, but it's just what it is. And luckily, I'm quite used to online work and also problems coming with online work. So you always have to kind of be prepared that that might happen, and well, it's just what it is. So maybe I'm not going to spend much more time on on this theme of not losing the state when there come online problems up. I might just get into today's theme, which is radical honesty versus radical hiding. And I have made a lot of experiences lately when it comes to discovering the hiding I've been doing of patterns, of feelings, of emotions, and of just getting, becoming able to be more honest about myself. It's a very, very big step, and it's not very easy to make this step. It's not so nice what you discover about yourself sometimes when you are honest, and you'll hear a bit about me. And when I decided to do this on YouTube, I thought, well, you're really exposing yourself, Sabine. You're really exposing yourself. You don't even know who is going to watch it. But then I thought, what do I really have to hide? Why can't I just be honest to the world, not just to myself? And so I'm going to be radically honest with you today. And the reason why I want to be so honest and share honestly is that it might help you in whatever way it might help you. So we'll go and build just a very short little chi field to connect in. It's important for me too to do that, so I can really speak from my heart, and hopefully you can connect in and listen from your heart, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so just kind of close your eyes, and if you listen to this in a situation where you can't close your eyes, you obviously don't worry about that. You can still listen to the meditation too, even if you are not able to go so deeply inward. It still can do what it's supposed to do, and that is connecting us with our heart and with each other. So with your eyes closed, it's really quite easy to bring the awareness inside, or much easier than when our eyes are open and impacted by all the beautiful things we see and connect with. So now just connect into your internal world, the inside. What is the inside? What is it? It's a different world. And I can imagine that everybody experiences this world a little bit different. So, how do you experience your internal world? You may bring your awareness into your heart space, into the center of the chest, and just feel into that area. Or you might be connected to your whole internal body as a space. Whatever you do, there is no wrong. Just trust yourself. Connect in with that beautiful, open, vast space inside. And in this vast space, it feels quite nice. It's a calm space. It's a space where it feels actually as if we are very relaxed. It's probably a different state we are connecting in when we connect to the inside. Maybe also because we connect to the present moment. It's a very special place, the present moment. And then really bring your awareness into your heart. And just imagine that as that beautiful, open, bright space. It's like a bright light in your chest. And it's always shining. Even if you think you can't kind of feel that light, it is there. It's always there. And it's very beautiful. for everybody of us. We all have a very beautiful bright light in our heart. It's our nature. Sometimes it's a bit hard to connect to that for all sorts of reasons. But we can really be sure and completely trust that it is there. And this is what us humans are discovering at the moment, more and more, deeper and deeper. It's that discovering of who we really are. And in this who we really are, we are all connected with each other. We're all one, and we have heard all of that plenty of times. Let's connect in with this knowing, and let's connect with each other consciously, with each other's hearts, because it's beautiful to connect with all these other bright, beautiful lights here in this live stream, people who watch it afterwards, all the people in the world have a beautiful bright light in their heart. The patterns of them might act completely different, but that bright light is there because everything in this universe is bright light. It's a creation of bright light. So let's just surrender to that. And so what I'm going to do today is sharing about something which has been covering up my bright light, and it's still covering it up. Sharing about patterns, emotions, feelings I have been hiding for my whole life, for all sorts of reasons, especially because it felt like it's my only way of being safe and my only way of being loved, not to show what I really feel. The problem is, it wasn't the truth. The truth was, I feel this, I feel that. So now, us as humans, we go into this more and more, into this place where we have the courage and the strength and the trust. Trust is very important. To look at what we have been hiding. And so just bring with your hands now this beautiful bright light that is everywhere back to your own heart, and you can put your hands onto your heart and just connect in with your heart, with that bright light. And you can just stay with your eyes closed if you like to listen to it that way, or you can open it now and relax your hands down. And I'm going to get a little bit deeper into the theme of today's live stream. So the reason why I chose this theme, it's really because it has been so obvious to me in the last few months that I need to be honest so that I don't need to hide anymore anything, and therefore heal also of whatever still needs to be healed. So there was something which had to happen for me, I think, before I could really go to this place of radical honesty. And that was a few months ago, I discovered where my pattern of the need to control has come from. And it was a very important seeing I had to do. It was something I had, some event in my past where which I had hidden very well. And out of that event, there was like a lot of control happening. I needed to control everything to kind of feel like that I'm safe, more or less. So I am quite a controlling person. I always was pretty clear and aware of that. I like things to be a certain way, and I I try to not only control my life, but sometimes I even try to control other people's life and all sorts of things like that. And I think we all recognize the need to control a little bit. But for me was key that and in Rainshare we use this method called Lingyuan, that I was able to go and see where the source of this need of control is coming from. And by doing that, I was able to release some of this control. And because I don't need to control as much anymore, I I'm able to be more honest because I don't need to control, how I feel and what I show to the outside world and my emotions. And so, by being able to be more honest, I was starting to see a really big load of things I need to see to be able to change. And I am convinced myself that sometimes we need to change things, transform things, replace things. And Renshui teaches that too, that we find replacement patterns, because us living in these lives with our bodies, with our consciousness, with our hearts, everything is actually patterns. Everything we learn is kind of a pattern we learn. And we need patterns to live our life. But the patterns which are not benefiting our life, and the patterns which are really blocking us of starting to feel this bright light more and more, and also to connect into this bright light more and more, that's the patterns we need to look at and replace, because we still need to kind of have some sort of way of being when a situation comes along where a pattern would kick in. So if I can replace a pattern with a better one, with a heart quality, for example, with trust or with openness or with love, then it has a very different impact on my life. And so with the honesty, we can stop hiding. We can stop hiding our patterns, because the patterns are very sneaky. They don't obviously show themselves. And I'm going to give you my example of some really, really radical honesty. And I have thought a little bit about if I really am going to do this on YouTube. But I decided to do it. It's really, it's really quite an ugly pattern I have seen. And it has to do with jealousy, with competitiveness, and with self-importance. And I just want to put in here, if any of what I'm saying is kind of causing a little impact on you, let's say a little squeeze in your stomach, or a little pinch in your heart or whatever, just notice it. Notice it, because it will probably mean something. Notice it. And then maybe later on, go a little bit and look at it and think, like, what was it about what Sabina said in that moment that made my heart kind of tighten up a bit? So investigate. There might be something for you too. You might be able to look at with radical honesty. So I have been doing lots of work on jealousy, because I knew jealousy is a thing in my life. I've destroyed a few friendships because of jealousy over my life history. Very beautiful friendships. And I looked around that quite a bit, try to investigate what was all of that about. And with this pattern work, it's often going step by step. So you see layers and layers, deeper and deeper into the layers. And so last week, I had this really deep sense of there is really more to see with jealousy and self-importance and competitiveness. And so in a deep Lingyuan, I discovered something which I was quite shocked about. And that was really that I want other people to be jealous at me. Besides that, I'm jealous at other people, like with my friends. I also want other people to be jealous at me. And when I looked deeper into this, I could see it in so many ways, so many ways. And competitiveness comes into that too. First of all, wanting to be better, but then also if somebody else is better than me, I want to be better so that they get jealous at me. Really, really crazy kind of structure of these three patterns kind of interwaved, showing themselves. And I'm still picking this apart. So it's an ongoing process. And for me, it was even like when I made the decision to go on YouTube, because really the reason why I did it was because at Patreon I just couldn't cover the costs anymore. It just didn't work out. I was hoping that more people are interested enough, but I also understand, and I know it myself, how much offer there is out there where we pay money for. And so at some stage we just have to decide, no, I can't sign up for this because I do already all these other things. So when I decided to do, well, if I do it already for free on Patreon, I might as well do it for free on YouTube, and more people can watch it, the ones who decided they don't want to pay the money to listen to me, And so I asked myself, why am I doing this? Does it have to do with self-importance, that I think that I'm so important that now, you know, the whole world more or less can listen to me? Or is it that I want to show off? How I can do this? What is the reason I'm doing this? And there are different reasons, and I'm pretty sure there are also patterns there as reasons. There is probably a little bit of self-importance. There is a little bit of showing off. But there is also this very, very, very deep passion of sharing, because sharing is very powerful, and I've experienced this myself over the years, how powerful sharing can be. And so this feels a bit like my contribution too. I love teaching anyway. It's just my call, always was. And yeah, so where was I? Going deeper into this very ugly pattern. And it was interesting because when I was in the Lingyuan, I could start to see how I started to do the self talk we do sometimes when we judge ourselves. And when we say, well, you're so disgusting. I said, wow, you're disgusting. Look at this pattern. This is awful. You are awful. That's more or less what I say to myself. And then there came a moment when I realized that who is saying that is not a pattern. Anytime there is judgment there, it comes from patterns. Because when we are really looking at something from our heart and from our true self, then there is no judgment there. When I switch then from, judging myself to looking at this pattern with my true self, all of a sudden there was just a lot of compassion and love there. It was like, well, it's not a very nice pattern, Sabine, but it's just what it is. And now you are here and you look at it. You don't hide it anymore. How amazing. And now you have the chance to do something about it. You have the chance to replace this pattern. And so that's what I did. I went into it. I tried to figure out where is this pattern coming from? Where is this pattern coming from? Why am I so jealous at people? Why am I even wanting other people to be jealous at me? To feel superior? Like there is a lot of this, not very nice superior, kind of wanting to be superior in there. Not nice. Who wants to be like that? I don't, but I am. So it's so important to look at it. So I'm so glad that this has happened, that I don't hide this anymore. Because the interesting thing is, so I went actually in and I saw the cause. I saw where this was created. And I was like a child, probably, I don't know, was I a year old? And it was a situation with my brother where it was his birthday and all the focus was on him, and he got the presents. And it was the first times when, in my life, that I was able in my consciousness to be aware what's going on. Earlier on in his earlier birthdays, I was just still too little to even know what's going on. So it didn't bother me. But at this point, it was the first time, and I just couldn't understand what's going on, because it was the first time that he got all the attention. And in my little brain, I I I thought, what's happening? Like, don't they love me anymore? Um, do they not want me anymore? What's happening? And my reaction as this little girl, I completely lost it. Like I had this massive tantrum, where I wanted to destroy the toys my brother got, and I was really like really not nice. But when I saw that happened, I understood why. I understood that I was just totally desperate, and my reaction to that desperation was jealousy. And then there was another thing happening, and there was like, because I realized that my reaction, showing my jealousy, didn't bring me any good reactions. My parents said, "Stop it, what are you doing?" So they kind of didn't say to me, "No, no, Sabine, we love you." They didn't realize that I felt that. Like, I'm not blaming my parents at all, but it just felt like, um, I was told off for feeling what I felt. And so I decided, well, I better hide what I feel, what I really feel, and be a good girl, because then, people love me, and it's okay. And so you can see how I was hiding from that point on my jealousy. But it was there. It was still there. But I became a master of hiding it. But it still was damaging my relationships. And what it is really damaging a lot is how I feel. It doesn't feel nice to be jealous. It's not a good feeling. And I could be the exact same person in a relationship, for example, or in a friendship or whatever, in meeting people, in working with people. I could be exactly the same without this pattern. And my internal world would feel so much better. I would be so much more in peace, so much more just relaxed, instead of constantly kind of looking out for this, if I'm good enough or not, or if I'm better, or if there is any jealous feeling there. So, what it means really for me to have seen this is that I can create now a replacement pattern, because I know I don't have to be jealous. I don't need anybody else to be jealous at me. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to be free of all of that. I just want to be in peace. I want to just trust myself and everybody else. I don't have to be better than anybody else. I just want to be open to other people's amazingness and heart and everything. And I just want to feel love for everybody instead of jealousy. If somebody might feel like a threat, where the attention is going to be taken away from me, or I feel like I might not be liked as much as another person or whatever. So I'm still working on this. And I have this very beautiful replacement pattern I'm bringing into my awareness whenever I notice this pattern of jealousy kicking in. And it's always connected to being jealous, but also trying to be good, to not show that I'm jealous. So it's quite tricky. That's why I couldn't see it for such a long time. And so my replacement pattern is really this settling into this place of peace, where I connect into my heart and I just connect into the trust, openness, and love. And that really changes a lot for me. So really awareness is important, that we are aware of what we feel, that we are allowing ourselves to really feel what we feel. And sometimes it takes a while that we are able to do that, because some things are radically hidden, because they might feel like a danger. Now, there is another way we can look at radical honesty versus radical hiding. And I'll only mention it very shortly now. We all know that our true self is hiding, don't we? You know, that bright light in our heart we have been talking about. It's kind of hiding too. There might have been moments in our life where we have shown this light and where we have shown the unconditional love. And then we got hurt. And so we decided, ooh, you know, I better I better do something about this because it doesn't feel nice, it's painful, it's dangerous that, people don't like me, and so on. And then we hide it. So we have done radical hiding of who we really are. And so where does the honesty come in here? The honesty, I think, is really around, first of all, honestly looking at whatever is covering that true self up and that light up, keeping it imprisoned because it seems to be safer in prison. And also to be really honest about allowing ourselves to see how amazing we are. Because there is this pattern also where we try to put ourselves down, trying to, there is maybe a fear there of being arrogant. And arrogance is another pattern. So there is maybe a fine line there we have to find. So we don't want to go into arrogance and say, I'm so beautiful and I'm so bright. That comes from a pattern. But when I'm honestly allowing myself to see the beauty I am in every way, my heart, my chi, my body, my mind, my consciousness, everything around me is beautiful. When I can stop hiding that knowing and be honestly seeing it, then the world will change for me. Because at that point, I will see a very different world. Because I'm seeing the world from the perspective of my true self, from the perspective of being connected to the universe. So also from the perspective of the universe, this true self. I sometimes play with trying to look at things, often especially difficult things, from the perspective of the universe. Because I can very much trust that the universe is unconditional in its trust and openness and love and gratitude and respect. So when I look from the perspective of the beautiful consciousness of the universe, there is just so much compassion and understanding and peace there at whatever they look. So that was that experience when I saw this ugly pattern about myself. The universe didn't judge me for that. It still loved me exactly the same because it always knew all the way along that that is there and that I'm going to have at some stage to deal with it. Hopefully. And if not in this life, then again in the next life, until I'm radically honest. And also working on really finding that replacement pattern. And for me, all of this was only also possible, all of it, right from the beginning when I said that I worked on this pattern of need of control, seeing, trauma. All of that was possible because of trust, because of improving my trust. Trust in myself, trust just that whatever is, trust that I don't need to be a certain way, that I don't have these fixed expectations as strongly anymore, and so on. So trust opened actually up this window for me to see. So very important to work on trust. Well, I think that is probably for today a bit what I wanted to share about my own journey. And you know, it's just such an important time for us to be radically honest, and it will have an impact on our own life, but also on other people's lives, because by us changing our patterns, other people benefit. And if we look at this world, we can also see how there is so much hiding going on in our world, of our patterns in our world, societal patterns, which all come from our individual patterns too. So the radical honesty is also happening in the big world. Things can't hide anymore. It's that bright light shining on everything. All of a sudden, things become visible, which have not been visible before. And we have to face that. It's not comfortable. Sometimes it's really ugly what we see, but we have to trust. We have to trust and then take the actions to replace it with trust and love and openness. To change some type of behavior completely. To stop something. To change something. It's our journey as humanity, and we have a really big chance here. Very big chance of growth. We might as well take that chance. Even if it's not comfortable. It's like that metaphor with the pot. I like to use that. So you have this pot where, something was cooked in and it's all crusty, it's dirty. And you put water and dishwashing liquid in, and you start to scrub it a bit around and, trying to get rid of all the dirt. And it looks actually even more disgusting and dirty when you do that. Okay? But you need to do it to get it clean again, to sparkle again, to see the beauty of that pot and to be able to use it again in its appropriate way. And we kind of like are in this dishwashing and water kind of scratching place, It doesn't look so nice. It doesn't feel so nice. But Yeah, we can do it, because then we we empty that really dirty pot out, and all of a sudden it's all shining bright. Okay, good. So let's just close the eyes for a moment. I'm just going to do 1-2 minutes of closing the chi field, and just come with your awareness again into your beautiful inside, into the heart. Just feel your heart. And remember the beauty there always, regardless of what you see about yourself. That's never who you really are. Who you really are is this beautiful bright light, full of love. So we need to remember that when we look at the ugly things. And then they don't have any strength left. So trust in this process. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. And thank you for your patience with the initial troubles. And I don't have a super stable internet, so I think that was the problem. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful day, night, or wherever you are in your day.